Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, the Dallas Cowboys' acquisition of Quinnen Williams has already sent ripples across the NFL, and it's easy to see why, coming over from the New York Jets. The former Alabama standout arrived in Dallas with a reputation as one of the league's premier defensive tackles, and he has wasted no time making his presence felt. In just 2 games with his new team, Williams has compiled 5 tackles and 1.5 sacks, immediately showing that the Cowboys' investment is paying dividends. The move wasn't just about talent. It was about bringing in a player who embodies a winning mentality, a tireless work ethic, and a locker room presence that can elevate those around him. What makes this acquisition particularly fascinating is how Quinnen's journey reflects a narrative that Nick Saban, his former Alabama coach, has often celebrated: the rise of a player who wasn't handed opportunities, but earned them through relentless effort and determination. On the Pat McAfee Show, Saban didn't hold back in praising what Williams brings to the table. First of all, Quinnen is one of those guys that he wasn't a highly recruited guy in high school, Saban said. I don't even know if he had any stars, but we liked him as a player. He came here. He worked his tail off to become what he is. He got bigger. He got stronger. Those words alone encapsulate the blueprint for Williams' career. From an under-the-radar high school recruit to a dominant force at Alabama, and now a key piece in Dallas' defensive scheme, Quinnen's story is one of perseverance, growth, and meticulous self-improvement. It's a journey that has now translated seamlessly into NFL success, where Williams has consistently proven himself at the highest level. By the time he left Alabama, Williams was no longer just a promising player. He was a bona fide star, which is why the New York Jets selected him with the No. 3 overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Since then, his resume has only grown more impressive. 3 Pro Bowl selections and a first-team All-Pro nod in 2020 to reflect a player who not only meets expectations but exceeds them. Saban's reflections provide a deeper understanding of the kind of competitor Williams is. The guy is a very good player, and he has got the right work ethic, attitude, because he developed and came up from nothing in terms of his athletic career, Saban said. It wasn't like he was some high-profile guy that everything was kind of laid out for him. He worked his way into being something that people didn't think he could be, and I think that carries over in his competitive personality. How he gets along with people. This combination of professional excellence and personal integrity makes Williams not just a defensive asset but a cultural one. Someone who can shape the identity of a locker room and influence the dynamics of a team. Statistically, his contributions speak for themselves. Over 7 seasons in the NFL, Quinnen Williams has racked up 326 tackles, 60 tackles for loss, 41.5 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, an interception, and 14 passes defended. Numbers like these are the tangible representation of a player who consistently alters the course of a game, demanding attention from opponents and making it easier for his teammates to execute. But beyond the stats, Saban emphasized the intangible qualities that Williams brings: the camaraderie, the leadership, and the sheer joy of being around him. I mean, this guy is a joy to be around, Saban said. I know his teammates will love him, and I think he's going to be a great addition for that team. Chemistry. Not just as a player. In a league where personalities and locker room dynamics are just as important as on-field performance, having someone like Quinnen Williams is invaluable. His presence has the potential to elevate the Cowboys' defensive units, infusing energy and focus while also fostering a cohesive culture that emphasizes accountability and hard work. The timing of the acquisition couldn't be better for Dallas as the team eyes a deep playoff run. Adding a player of Williams' caliber and character can be the difference between a strong defense and a championship-caliber one. The synergy he creates on and off the field mirrors the type of players Saban always sought at Alabama: those who combine elite athletic ability with relentless drive, an unshakable attitude, and the ability to lift those around them. Watching Williams adjust to the Cowboys system has been fascinating. His impact is immediate, but it's not just in tackles or sack sits, in how he commands attention in the trenches, how he disrupts offensive schemes, and how he communicates with teammates to keep everyone aligned. His adaptability is a testament to both his football intelligence and his willingness to embrace new challenges without ego. For fans, the excitement is palpable. Quinnen Williams represents more than just a mid-season acquisition. He is a statement, signaling that the Cowboys are serious about building a defense capable of dominating games. The expectations are high, but if Williams' track record is any indication, he thrives under pressure. His journey from under-recruited high school player to NFL star is an inspiration, illustrating how dedication, preparation, and a fierce competitive spirit can overcome any initial disadvantage. It's the story of a player who refuses to settle, who continuously refines his craft, and who approaches each practice and each game with the same intensity that earned him recognition at every level. The Dallas locker room stands to gain not only a technically gifted defensive tackle, but a player who embodies resilience and leadership. The intangible qualities Williams brings: the ability to lift morale, mentor younger players, and contribute positively to team chemistry, could be just as crucial as his on-field production in the Cowboys' pursuit of success. In an era where superstars often define franchises, Quinnen Williams' blend of humility, professionalism, and elite skill makes him a cornerstone for any team lucky enough to acquire him. Nick Saban's endorsement underscores this point. Williams is the type of player who elevates those around him, someone whose story resonates because it reflects the true essence of football: hard work, persistence, and teamwork. As the Cowboys continue their season, all eyes will be on how Williams integrates fully into the system and how his presence transforms the defensive front. His early performances suggest a seamless transition, but the real story is how his leadership and work ethic ripple throughout the team, setting a standard that could define Dallas' identity for years to come. For fans, analysts, and teammates alike, Quinnen Williams represents the ultimate combination of talent and character. A player who not only can dominate the line of scrimmage, but also inspire those around him to elevate their game. In the high-stakes world of the NFL, players like Williams are rare, and the Cowboys have positioned themselves to capitalize on everything he brings, making this trade deadline acquisition one of the most intriguing and potentially impactful moves of the season. As the team moves forward, the buzz surrounding Quinnen Williams will only grow, and his influence on the Dallas Cowboys, both statistically and culturally, will be felt in ways that extend far beyond the box score, shaping the narrative of their season and perhaps their legacy for years to come. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. Hold on to your hats, folks, because the NFL world might be on the brink of a seismic shock that could shake the very foundations of the league. Rumors are swirling like wildfire that the Dallas Cowboys, yes, the Cowboys, could be staring down the barrel of a serious points deduction over what insiders are calling a major irregularity now. The league has never been shy about cracking down when rules are bent, stretched, or outright broken, but this time, if the whispers in the corridors of power are to be believed, we could be witnessing one of the most dramatic and unprecedented moves in recent NFL history. The source of the controversy isn't entirely clear yet, but it's enough to send shockwaves through the locker room, the front office, and of course, the fan base, which has already started buzzing with speculation on social media. The mere mention of point deductions instantly conjures images of past scandals, and fans can't help but draw parallels with other high-profile penalties that have rocked franchises to their core. It's the kind of story that feels almost too cinematic to be true, yet every shred of insider chatter hints that there's a serious kernel of truth buried beneath the rumor mill. Sources close to the team have been tight-lipped, as you might expect, but the speculation is growing louder by the hour. There's talk that the irregularity could involve compliance with league regulations, and some insiders are hinting that it might have something to do with player eligibility or contractual technicalities that somehow slipped under the radar. Imagine the chaos if a team that has prided itself on its performance and dominance suddenly had points stripped from its record, not because of poor play on the field, but due to an administrative or procedural misstep. The Cowboys organization has always positioned itself as a model franchise, and yet, even the most polished institutions can be caught off guard. Fans and analysts alike are starting to crunch scenarios in their heads. What would this mean for the standings, playoff seeding, and more importantly, the perception of fairness in the league? Speculation is practically a spectator sport at this point, with everyone from sports talk radio hosts to social media personalities jumping on the bandwagon, dissecting every possible angle, and trying to predict the fallout. It's worth noting that the NFL has historically been meticulous when it comes to investigations. When allegations surface, the league doesn't act on a whim, there's always a process. A careful review of documentation, interviews, and sometimes weeks of behind-the-scenes maneuvering before a decision is even hinted at publicly. That's why this story is particularly tantalizing, because we haven't even seen an official statement yet. The silence, naturally, only fuels the fire. Speculators are positing everything from minor penalties to drastic measures that could potentially alter the competitive landscape of the entire season. And while some voices in the media are cautioning against jumping to conclusions, the sheer volume of chatter suggests that people believe the situation is both serious and actionable. Could the Cowboys actually lose points in the standings? Is this a preemptive strike by the league to set an example? Or are we looking at a bureaucratic snafu blown wildly out of proportion? The ambiguity is, honestly, part of what makes this so compelling to fans everywhere. What makes this even juicier is that the Cowboys are in a position where every point matters. The narrative writes itself, a team fighting tooth and nail on the field, only to be hit by a thunderbolt. From the league office, some analysts are already speculating about the potential ripple effects on other franchises. If the NFL is willing to take action against a marquee team like Dallas, could this open the floodgates for similar investigations elsewhere? Are we looking at the start of a larger sweep, where the league sends a message that no team, no matter how storied, is above the rules? It's the kind of story that seems tailor-made for debate shows, panel discussions, and heated arguments on Twitter. Fans are drafting speculative posts imagining scenarios where points are deducted mid-season, changing the playoff landscape overnight. Rival fanbases are reveling in the possibility, some with schadenfreude, others cautiously optimistic about fairness being enforced. Meanwhile, Cowboys supporters are already bracing themselves for a battle, vocalizing outrage at the mere suggestion that their beloved franchise could face such punitive measures behind closed doors. The league is reportedly conducting a meticulous review, but details are scarce. There's chatter that it involves documentation irregularities or a technical oversight that somehow slipped past internal compliance checks. It's unclear whether this is something that happened months ago or is tied to more recent events, but the potential for impact is massive. Imagine being a player on the roster and hearing that points could be taken away from games you fought for with sweat, grit, and determination. The psychological angle is fascinating because while fans speculate, players and coaches might be living with the tension quietly, unsure how much truth there is to the rumors or how drastically it could affect their standing. And let's be real, if the league does decide to impose a points deduction, the narrative shifts instantly from on-field performance to administrative intrigue. It's sports drama at its purest, the clash of rules, reputation, and raw competition. Social media is already a boiling pot of theories, half-truths, and pure speculation. Hashtags related to Cowboys points deductions are trending, and the comment sections are packed with everything from detailed statistical analyses to wild conspiracy theories. Some fans are trying to dig through game footage, roster moves, and past announcements, looking for the tiniest shred of evidence to validate the rumor. Meanwhile, others are more interested in the spectacle, crafting memes and imagining the fallout if a points penalty were officially handed down. It's the kind of viral moment that the NFL rarely sees outside of playoffs or marquee controversies, and the anticipation is palpable. The rumor alone has created a level of engagement that many media outlets would envy, with eyeballs glued to every update, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. Every whisper, every unnamed source adds fuel to the fire, keeping the rumor alive and constantly evolving. Analysts are now drawing comparisons to past incidents where teams face penalties for rules violations, though they caution that those situations were often entirely different in context and scope. What sets this potential Cowboys situation apart is the sheer high-profile nature of the franchise. Combined with the mystery surrounding the alleged irregularity, there's a sense that the league is treading carefully, aware of both the legal implications and the public relations ramifications. If the point deduction does happen, it will be dissected for years as a case study in league governance, compliance, and the unpredictable drama of professional sports. And even if the NFL ultimately decides to let the Cowboys off the hook, the speculation itself has already done something remarkable. It has captured the imagination of fans, commentators, and casual observers alike, creating a narrative that blurs the line between rumor and reality in the most thrilling way. So here we are, Standing on the precipice of what could be a historic moment in NFL lore, will the Cowboys be penalized? Are we witnessing the first chapter of a long saga that will dominate headlines, podcasts, and sports bar debates for months to come? Or is this just another example of the rumor mill running wild? A dramatic tale that might never fully materialize, only time will tell. But one thing is undeniable, the football world is buzzing, speculation is rampant, and the Cowboys, whether guilty or not, have found themselves at the center of a story that no fan, analyst, or commentator can afford to ignore. Stay tuned, because if these rumors hold even a fraction of truth, we could be looking at one of the most talked about controversies in recent NFL memory. A storyline that will dominate the conversation long after the whistle blows and the dust settles on the field. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates. Only here on NFL News Now.